Hey, welcome back, folks, to this week's edition of Ambassador Talk. My name's Jason David. The AFW2 Ambassador Program often pits together ambassador to ambassador to have deep dive conversations, fireside chats, if you will, about their experiences and what services that they've utilized through this program. Today, however, we have a very special guest. It is a AFW2 Outreach Coordinator, just freshly arrived on staff. It is Michelle Sanchez. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Chief. Thanks so much for having me.
So, question of the day: what hobbies have brought you to AFW2? Like, what hobbies and what activities sync together for you?
Great question, Chief. So I'm an Army Navy veteran, and I was introduced to the adaptive sports world. I was a participant in the Warrior Games in 2017. And since then, I've been hooked. So had some injuries that unfortunately hindered me from doing some things that I used to do. But that just really opened up my world to the adaptive sports and brought me to programs such as the Wounded Warrior program with the Air Force, among others. So my hobbies are archery is my jam. That's my passion. I'm really good at that. I'm a 3-time state champion. I've shot for the U.S. Army, and I'll be shooting hopefully for the Invictus team in 2022. And I love to hunt. So we have a family ranch, and that's what I enjoy doing.
So I'm very happy this is a virtual setting, and if I make you upset, that I am miles away, definitely. So humorously, I teased you previously because we've had plenty of conversations before this interview. You have done time in 3 of the 4 services, right? So you
Right.
remind me, you started with the Army, right?
Correct. Uh-huh.
And then you moved to the Navy, and this is all while you were active duty. And then at the end of the road, you realized that the Air Force made the most sense to give back. And so, selfishly, obviously, I appreciate you on many levels. But let me know how the integration has been working with Air Force members now compared to the joint service partners.
Well, I've only been on the job about going on week 3. So the interaction that I've had the pleasure of hearing a couple of ambassadors speak and, going on to base and seeing how things run a little bit. So it's definitely different. And I apologize to everybody if I don't get the Airman Air Force way of lingo and terms correctly, but I think I'll transition well. And they welcome me with open arms. So that's really great.
I think you will as well. And in the times that we've spoken to each other, I think you're a wonderful addition to the team. So,
Thank you.
speaking of the team, right, as a wounded warrior yourself, now helping out the Air Force Wounded Warrior Program, let me know from your perspective, especially since you were just indoctrinated, what is the outreach program, right? And what is your role as a coordinator, and how can you help?
So the outreach program is basically a program where we go Air Force wide to let people know about our program. So, we go to different wings, I think that's the correct term, and let them know about the program. We want to make sure that they know about the program before they need us, so that way they have it in the back of their mind, or they can spread the word to other airmen. Because it's always, if you're in a bad place where you just got hurt, you're injured, maybe they're talking medical board, and you don't know where to turn, it's a good foundation to have, so that way if something does happen, programs such as this is going to be helping you. And my job as an outreach coordinator is to assist in giving that word out, but also training ambassadors. I know, Chief, you're an ambassador yourself, on how to tell their story. And that story is so impactful and so helpful to hear. I mean, I've heard 2 ambassadors speak, and I've cried both times. So it really tugs at your heartstrings, but it also reassures our airmen that they're not alone. And people are going through similar issues, and it's okay. The whole point is to bring that, resilience can happen, and everyone has a story and a journey, and we're all here together.
So, with your dual hattedness, being obviously a wounded warrior yourself, right, and the outreach coordinator, how are you able to blend those 2 things together? And from again, from our previous conversation, I think it is to your benefit at this point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm of course I've never been in the Air Force, but I was an Army vet and a Navy vet. So my career has been great. But I also, I'm a disabled veteran. So I did have some transition issues, unfortunately, back when I came back from deployment. And so there weren't programs like this. In the Army, it would be the Warrior Transition Unit, and there just wasn't one back then. And so I didn't get that transition from active to veteran status, helping with resumes, just getting myself ready for the workforce and to become a civilian. So I think what my gift is that I've been through that hard stage. I've been through that, what am I going to do? My life has completely changed. Who can I turn to? So I think with my struggles, I can pay that forward to our airmen and let them know that we're here for them in any capacity that they need. And there's definitely so many programs available to them. It's just the power of letting them know that they're available.
So one of the coolest things I've seen over my years in the Air Force is that there are different personality types, obviously, right? But the one that I
Right.
favor the most is the motivated personality, because regardless of, if they're the smartest kid in the class or the one that is just kind of squeaking by, the motivated airman or service member is usually the one that you can count on. And so I think it's a beautiful thing that you wanted to that you ended up joining the Air Force Wounded Warrior team, because your motivations are internal. They are because of services that you didn't necessarily get by yourself, but you want to make the world a little bit better for the next person that's going to be in your exact same shoes. I think that's indicative of what the ambassador program is in itself, sharing our stories, so that if anyone feels that they've experienced something similar, that they can reach out, receive the support and services, and feel the network that exists today that they might not be aware of.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, we all have a story to tell. We all have gone through some different trials and tribulations, and we grow together. So that's my focus. That's my passion. That's my why, is to help others and pay it forward. And if I can be a beacon of hope to somebody, I'm more than glad to do it.
I love it. So, if you guys are just tuning in right now, this, of course, is Ambassador Talk. We are interviewing the AFW2 Outreach Coordinator. Her name is Michelle Sanchez. And so, Michelle, the website itself, right? So, woundedwarrior.af.mil. If someone wants to participate and become an ambassador, or they'd like to be in adaptive sports, or they'd like to see any of the other resiliency programs, they must first become a member, right? And they have to see if they're
Correct.
eligible to begin with. So, you and I think, are going to sing the song unanimously, that if you
Yeah.
have a friend that you think qualifies for this program, or if you yourself think that you qualify for this program, what are the different scenarios that can get someone into this group?
Well, again, I'm fairly new. So from what I understand, if you are on a medical board or medical hold, I'm not sure what the airman term is, or if they're injured, or we have what's called a casualty, excuse me, a casualty report. Our chain of command gets that information and reaches out to them to let them know that we're here to assist them. But if you have a friend or yourself and you're kind of in that category where, I'm pretty injured, or I'm sick, I have a critical illness, and you don't know what your future is, I mean, go to that website, click that link, refer yourself, refer a friend, or sometimes it can also come from your staff or leadership. So yeah, it's never a bad thing to just at least try to see if you're eligible, and we'll take it from there and let you know if we can assist.
I love the fact that you were able to clarify, because it is called the Air Force Wounded Warrior Program, but that definition is all encompassing. So if you are an airman and you have issues that are deep and medical, or you have a severe traumatic injury, or military sexual trauma, or post traumatic stress disorder, or you're a combat veteran, and many more different reasons that would help you qualify to become a member of this program. If you feel like you're on the fence, it doesn't hurt to see if you can try and apply for these benefits, because it is a support system that is here for those people specifically. And no two cases are the same level of severity, and
Right.
a lot of folks in the ambassador workshops themselves, they're a little timid in sharing their story, because they say, I don't think my story is impactful enough. And boy,
Exactly.
do they get their minds changed quickly after sharing with the rest of the class.
Exactly, Chief. And a lot of statistics have shown like 85% of our airmen that are in the program are associated with invisible wounds and actually non-combat. So a lot of people think, oh, maybe I haven't been in combat, or I'm not missing a leg or an arm, and I'm not visibly injured. But mental health is a serious issue. I've suffered from some mental health issues myself and overcame that, and it's tough. And you really need those people to be your support network, and we're here. So please, if you have any inkling that you are going through some struggles or medical issues, please just refer yourself or a friend and reach out, and we're here to help.
Awesome. And then it is important to remember the goal, of course, of AFW2, especially if you are going through a medical process, is to see if we can return you to duty. And there is support staff that will be here to support you all along the way. That includes support for the service member, but also the caregiver program, where we support families as well and have programs to either give them a break and or to give them resources so that they can do their job a little better.
Absolutely. And you know, as you and I mean, without our caregivers, and that can be a family member, that can be a friend, that can be that battle buddy that you relied on. I mean, it takes a village literally to get us out of our hard times. And that's what you do. You reach out for your backbone people, you know, your family member, your spouse, your daughter, your whoever that may be. I mean, caregivers are literally the bread and butter of our success.
No,
And God bless them.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, my work spouse,
Absolutely.
John Fernandez over there at AFW2, he makes sure that I am always taken care of, especially when I feel down and my family is nowhere nearby, my immediate family.
Right,
So,
right.
last question for you is if you had a singular message that you'd like to get out at the end of this interview to encourage people to know a little bit more as your job as the outreach coordinator, what would that message be?
My message is to reach out. I mean, we have got, you know, staff throughout the country that are here to help. We really do want to assist you in anything that you need or your caregivers need. And enroll, you know, enroll and see if you're eligible. And if you're not eligible, that's okay. We can lead you to a path where people can help. And know that we're here. You know, we're here for a reason, and that reason is to help and assist. You know, we are so appreciative of your service. We understand the things that you go through. It's never, you know, not always just a smooth ride, and we're here to help in whatever way that we can. So please reach out, put the pride aside, leave it at the door, and there's nothing wrong with asking for help.
Hey, thanks, Michelle, for the conversation today. And again, if you're tuning in and you are interested in not just support services through AFW2, the Air Force Wounded Warrior Program, but if you'd like to take it a step further and get engaged in some of the resiliency programs, the caregiver programs, the adaptive sports, the ambassador workshops, all the plethora of suite and services that AFW2 can use to help you get to where you need to go, whether that's retaining on active duty, that whether that's transitioning to the next stage in your life. The most important thing about all these things is that once your military service is done, whether it's a military retirement or medical separation, AFW2 doesn't go away. The majority of our alumni is not active duty, reserve, or guard anymore, but they
Right,
are still parts and members of this program that help it succeed.
right, right.
So last thing I have to do, and this is obligatory. So if you are interested in any of the things that we talked about today, please head over to woundedwarrior.af.mil. Go ahead and look on the right-hand side. There is the enroll in function. If you have a friend that you would like to refer, we cannot thank you enough for tuning in today and finding out what AFW2 can do for you.
Yep. Thank you.